How do you know a woman is sexually interested in you? Is it a calculated guess, or do you use experience to determine the level of interest she has? The fact of the matter is that it's extremely hard to read what a woman thinks, or any other person for that matter. On the upside, there are some telltale signs that women often reveal to show they're sexually interested in you, and it's often far less subtle than you think. So let's explore which 7 signs you should respond to.
Fearless Forge.
Number 1. Facial stare in conversation. The first one is a bit complicated, and it does get affected by certain things like if you're from the same area or if you have a different accent that you speak with. However, a woman who is attracted to you sexually will tend to focus on your lips for the biggest part of the conversation, but she will rarely make eye contact. Since direct eye contact is a way of intimidation, it's often far better to stare at your lips, and she does this as a way of admiring you when you speak. Now, keep in mind that if your accent is a little different or you have a form of speech impediment, people naturally stare at your lips as a way of trying to read them. You'll notice a lot of times that women stare at your lips in those crucial, intimate moments when she's about to kiss you. Keep this in mind, and you should be able to tell if she's ready for that all-important first kiss. But this is a physical matter. What psychological signs are there? Number 2, push-pull. As you get to know her a little better, you'll notice that she becomes more passive-aggressive when she desires you and you don't make a move. You see, while modern society has encouraged women to make more moves if they want men, this is still something that very few women can actually do. Instead of directly trying to approach you or talk to you about her desires, she might pull you closer before pushing you away. Now, the burning question is, why? Well, since she hates to be rejected, she'll want to push you away to test and see if you're bound to come back. This will show her whether or not you'll reject her. However, this can easily be turned in your favor and will also be a great opportunity to make a move. Number 3, establishing contact with you. Now, this one is something you've probably heard about 100 times, but it still remains one of the most important signs if you want to know if she's attracted to you. You see, humans are actually simple, and much like a moth is drawn to a flame, people are drawn to other people they desire. Now, what does this mean? If you spend time with her physically, you're bound to notice that she'll want to be close to you. She'll tend to sit next to you instead of a distance away, and she'll also want to walk by and be by your side. This is how she shows you that she desires you and actually wants to be the partner you desire. On top of this, you might notice that she fiddles with you more often than not, and this is with the pun intended. Yeah, she might touch you more often and even try to subtly seduce you. Once you notice this happening, you're clear for takeoff. Number 4, highly playful demeanor. This is perhaps one of the most complicated signs to discern, but it could take your encounters and relationships to a completely different level. In fact, you'll need to be a bit more vigilant if you want to spot this trait. You see, women are bitchy by nature, and when they don't like someone, they tend to be their true selves, which is often horrible, and this can make men feel bad when they're verbally attacked by a woman. However, a woman who's interested in you will be far more playful, and she'll tend to play a few games with you. Much like middle school, she'll often be insulting, but playfully, and she might even make fun of you, but in a very light-hearted way. In fact, this is her way of trying to make sure that all of your attention is solely focused on her instead of anyone else around you. These playful gestures can really be used in your favor, and you can also respond with some playful banter of your own. There is just one thing you need to look out for, and this is the fact that it needs to be playful. The moment it gets too personal, it might not turn out the way you wanted it to go, and this can be very frustrating. Make sure that you play off her emotions, and you should be completely fine and ready to get her any way you like. Number 5, she laughs at every joke, even when it's not funny. Number 5 is another one you've probably heard a million times, but smiling and laughing are signs of universal attraction, depending on the context it's used. If she laughs at you for something you've done or are wearing, it's not a sign of universal attraction. But when she laughs at something that you've done or said that should be funny, it could be. But how do you truly test this? Well, according to psychology, the dopamine rush people experience when they're around their crush can be just as high as having actual sexual interactions with this person. Now, dopamine is universally known as the happy hormone. You can play around with the jokes, and if you tell her a joke that isn't funny, but she finds it to be hilarious, you've found your answer. This will truly indicate that she's invested, and she finds everything you do and say to be of value. In fact, many women will even pedestalize their partners, and this is when you'll know for sure that she's sexually inclined to date you and she wants to have intimate moments with you. But what about the texting game? Number 6, she responds almost immediately via text or phone call. Have you ever texted your crush only only to stare at your little screen for a few minutes or even an hour waiting for her to reply. Well, this is something that's becoming common practice among the new generation, and many men find themselves staring at the small screen in their hands to wait for a reply. However, it's exactly the same from a female perspective, and when she's fully invested sexually, she will constantly stare at her small little screen in the hopes that you'll respond. When you do respond, she'll want to jump on this bandwagon of you being active and often respond almost immediately. You see, she wants to hog all of your attention, and in her feminine mind, she's wondering what else could be occupying your attention at the same level that she should be. This creates a little bit of insecurity, and it even makes her more and more attracted to you. However, there's often a flip side to this one, and you could notice that she takes longer to reply. This doesn't mean that she's moved on or that she's lost her interest. In many cases, she's simply testing you to see if you're willing to invest the same as her. But here comes the kicker. The moment you do invest the same or even more than her, she'll slowly lose interest. In fact, the key to sustaining the attraction is often found in continuing to operate the way you have. Even if she thinks you're not interested, she'll possibly continue to chase you. Why, you might ask? Well, women simply want what they can't have. Number 7. She creates fictional reasons and problems to talk to you. The damsel in distress complex. Finally, one fantasy that resonates with every woman on the planet is that of being the damsel in distress and having her knight in shining armor come to save her. In fact, this is a combination of her being sexually attracted to you while also being wary and testing if you are the person she can spend her life with. Many also refer to this as the infamous shit test. Now, what will happen is she'll try to call you or text you about every minor detail of her day. She might even tell you that she now has a problem because she spilled some coffee on her clothes at work, or something equally ridiculous. What she wants is to gauge your level of interest and see if you're willing to solve her problems, but this is also a trap. In terms of attraction, when she starts doing these things, you can sleep with her whenever you like, and you can be sure she's sexually attracted to you, but how do you avoid throwing all that attraction away when she comes with these ridiculous problems? For starters, you'll want to acknowledge the problem she has, but don't respond immediately. Only respond when you actually have time. You can try to make a joke about it, but whatever you do, do not be the knight in shining armor. These small problems are things that she needs to deal with on her own. If you just acknowledge the problem and brush it off, she might be frustrated, but she'll also understand that she doesn't have you yet and needs to continue working. This is also a valuable lesson with people in life, and you should allow people to deal with their own issues until it's really something damning. What will happen is that she'll continue to sleep with you in the hopes that she can tie you down. But as complicated as women are, there are some incredible skills older men use to get women. Make sure to check out this video next.